We're the Ragamuffins, and we're going to 2000 Trees.
So we are going to 2000 Trees Festival this summer. We're very excited. For me and James, this is our first time going. You've been before though, haven't you, Dan?
I have been before. I went in 2016, and I'm excited to go back. Very excited to go back.
I mean, you've talked about it for so long about how much you love it as a festival, and any kind of lineups aside, the atmosphere and the kind of vibe you're going to get from there is just a great time, isn't it?
It's just so relaxed. Everyone there is a big music fan, and is just there to have a good time.
Cool. So we're going for the early bird as well. We're going to be there on the Wednesday, kind of like chill setup day, get everything sorted. For you guys, is there anyone in particular on that Wednesday that you're looking forward to seeing?
I'd quite like to see Pulled Apart by Horses. They've been at Truck a few years, and I've never been able to quite catch them, and I've heard a lot of good things about them live. So that'll definitely be one for me that I'm keeping an eye on for.
I think I've always quite liked Black Foxes. I've never got massively into them, but they're a band that I think really fit kind of the vibe of 2000 Trees. And on Wednesday, I believe they've repurposed the Forest stage to now have full electric bands. So that's the stage that's going to be played on the Wednesday, and I think that'll be a nice little environment for them to play in.
But like a nice warm up for the whole next 2 days,
Yeah,
I think, isn't it?
definitely.
It's like a little teaser.
Yeah.
Like for me, I think through you two, I've heard of Palm Reader, and I've heard some of their music before, and that's always been good. A lot of this bill for me is a lot of introduction to a lot of bands, which I think is quite nice. So I like going into it with a very open mind in terms of who I get a chance to go and see. Very much in a way rely on you two a little bit, because there's going to be all kinds of artists on this that you're both up for, and just to kind of go and experience something that, just from photos and videos before that you showed me in particular, Dan, that just looks incredible.
I think that's what Trees is all about as well. It's nice to kind of, yes, there'll be names on there that you want to go and see, but there's loads on there that you perhaps have heard of before but haven't got around to checking out, and that's what a lot of this is about, I think. Yeah,
because I want to check out Heavy Lungs on that Wednesday. They're like a sort of post-punk revival band, sort of in a similar world to Idols, I think.
Yeah.
And I've heard really good things about them live as well, but just never had a chance to really get into them or see them. So it's going to be good to just take advantage of this opportunity to be able to see bands like that I probably never would have seen otherwise.
So as you kind of mentioned, one of the headliners there to start with anyway, working our way through, out of the 5 that we now have on there, is there one in particular you're most looking forward to seeing?
I can't wait for Turnstile. It's going to be amazing. I mean, listening to Glow On last year has made me fall in love with that band, and knowing that I'm going to see them twice at Outbreak as well.
2 headline festival sets.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really fun. I'm not sure what it's going to be like, because it's going to be such a different vibe to Outbreak. Outbreak's going to feel like just like a normal show, whereas this is going to be like in a field late, and sun is set, and it's going to be just so much fun. I can't wait for Turnstile.
Dan, headliners for you?
To be honest, You Me at 6 can be a bit hit or miss. I think they're very set list dependent on me, but all of the other 4 I'm looking forward to equally, really. Turnstile, for the reasons Alex has just mentioned. Idols, I think, are amazing. It's great. When I went in 2016, they were a tiny name near the bottom of the poster, so to see them headlining now is incredible, really. And then Jimmy Eat World and Thrice have some classics as well. Really looking forward to seeing them. I don't think any of it misses, really.
I'm really intrigued by Thrice, because so many of the bands we listen to always cite them as like a big kind of band they've grew up listening to and that they love. And I remember you were recommending one of their albums previously on the podcast and really, really enjoying it. And you can kind of hear the bands we listen to and their influence from their music. So I think that's going to be something, especially in that live scenario, that I'm just going to absolutely love seeing. But I think, especially with Turnstile as well, I think that is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I got nothing more to add.
I thought you were going to say something a second ago. Right, so then kind of breaking it down into just the days, starting with then Thursday next. Who's kind of grabbing your attention for a lot of part on there?
First of all, it's just weird that it's a Thursday. I can't get my head around it. I think it's just going to be quite odd being there on a Thursday for the start of a festival, because I'm used to Download or Truck, that being early entry day, and it's still like a relaxed vibe.
I think it was the organisers' idea. I think they liked the idea, because 2000 Trees kind of was born off of the idea of the organisers going to these other bigger festivals and being like, hey, we can do something different here. Let's do things differently. So I think they chose to kind of have a preference of having the extra day off before you go back to work. So
Yeah.
I think that's why it's Sunday off.
Very much needed.
Yeah.
I can say from experience. But yeah, like for me in particular, I'm intrigued to see Crossfaith again. We saw them at Slam Dunk quite a few years ago. I want to say 2015, 2016. And I hadn't really listened to them much, but I just remember them actually putting on a very, very good show. And again, they've not been a band I've gone back to much. But I just remember they stand out as a live band that put on something that just kind of really, really got my attention. And I think that's one for me in particular that I'm looking forward to.
I'm quite interested to see both Witch Fever and Cassette. They both have been nominated, I think, for Best British Breakthrough for the Heavy Music Awards, which means they must be doing something good. And I've not had a chance to actually listen to either of them yet, but it's just going to be cool to see bands that are obviously coming through and on the rise, and probably catching them at a relatively small sort of point in their trajectory.
Yeah.
So yeah, those two are sticking out to me, but also Can't Swim is going to be really, really fun. Their debut album is like still one of my all-time favourite albums, and I've seen them live before once and they were incredible, so yeah.
It's going to be nice to see some American bands again for once, because since the pandemic, although we've managed to get back to live music, it's very much been domesticated. Although there's loads of amazing British bands, it'll be nice to kind of see something fresh, see something American again. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Can't Swim and Stick to Your Guns especially. Lonely the Brave are going to be good. They've had a new vocalist since I last saw them, so quite interested to see that. And they've had a new album as well since I last saw them. It's weird to think like anyone that released something like late 2019, it hasn't really had the chance to kind of be played live too much.
Yeah,
No.
that was mad, isn't it? Yeah.
Amount of like tours that have been cancelled when bands were trying to support their latest releases. This is now the chance you're going to get with that, which is quite cool. We, about a month or so ago, went to Underground Festival and we went to see Delay the Liar. And they put on a very, very good performance. And it was kind of, we'd picked them out from that beforehand anyway to go and see them and kind of get an idea.
They've always been a name that's been kind of floating around, and
Yeah.
I've just never had kind of an excuse to check them out. So seeing them at Underground Festival was a good reason to do that. And yeah, I'm a big fan. So we'll probably be seeing them as well.
You've been before, Dan. How many stages are there typically?
Let's try and name them. So you've got the main stage, there's the Cave, there's the Axiom, there's the new stage, and the Forest stage. So I guess 5 overall.
Okay. Just because I'm hoping that sort of in terms of splits and clashes, it's not going to be too brutal. Because I'd like, a chance to see a band like Anti-Flag. I don't know when that will come up again. It would be really great to see them. And Creeper as well, yeah. There's
It's
loads.
not on the
of
poster, but all the stage splits are mentioned on the website, I believe. I don't know if they're all 100% accurate and finalised, but
Okay.
they are all on there, so we'll be able to have a little nose, see. Maybe put together a little clash finder.
All right, should we move on to Saturday?
Friday.
Yeah, see? I might just leave that in there. Proof that I can't get my head around it.
So on the Friday, for me personally, this is a bigger day. There's a lot more bands that I know straight off the bat that I want to go and see. Boston Manor, really loved the EP last year. Carbon Mono really started to get me into them. I know we've seen them at festivals before, and they've just put on a good show. So now kind of knowing more of their music, I'm looking forward to that. Kenny Hoopla, we'll be seeing him at Slam Dunk, I'm sure. Survivor's Guilt EP was fantastic. Dan, you've started kind of getting both me and Alex into pop a lot more. And with some of their recent releases, absolutely enjoyed that. Have you seen them before?
I've seen Pup many times before. They put on an amazing live show. There's so much energy, loads of angry finger pointing, singing along to all those hooks.
Always fun.
It's always good fun. Boston Manor were a late edition. I think they're brilliant. I think there are a lot of people that were maybe on the fence about the lineup, and adding bands like Boston Manor and Meter 6 at the same time has kind of convinced a lot of people, I think, to go and get a ticket.
Yeah, this is a stacked day. I think this might be the most stacked day. Yeah, the bands that you've mentioned, Boston Manor and Pup, Kenny Hoopla, they're all going to be amazing. But also, it's a chance to see bands like 100th, Strange Bones and Cavaliers again, who both sets were really great. We saw them supporting Trash Boat at the Loft. Check out our vlog.
They were really good.
They were really, really fun. James and the Cold Gun, which is the
ex-bassist of Holding Absence.
Yeah. I've not listened to any of it yet. I might listen before we go, but I've no idea what it sounds like. So I'm going to be interested to see what it
Depending
is.
on their timings, every now and again he gets Ash Green to drum for him.
Okay.
So that could be kind of a cool thing to see again, because incredible underrated drummer behind the kit. Dan, you mentioned Harriet to us before.
Yeah, Harriet are on there.
They've put out some fantastic music. Kind of seeing them get a bit more credit. The music that I've heard from them has been very, very enjoyable. So they're a band that I want to try and see if they're earlier on in the day. Definitely kind of making my mark over there to go and see them. Any others, guys? As December Falls, I think they're on Slam Dunk as well.
I can't confirm nor deny off the top of my head.
It's nice to see Salem on there. That's Will from Creeper's side project. It's interesting that
nice.
Creeper are doing the Thursday and then Salem on the Friday. And as someone that's been to Choose before, I can confirm that Thrill Collins are a very good time.
What's that about then?
They're kind of like a bluesy, jazzy covers band.
Okay.
They're
that'll be
just
fun.
good vibes.
That'll be
Nice.
fun.
I also want to check out Rome, who we saw at Download in 2019, who I thought were fun. And also Vukovi.
Yes.
They clashed with someone at Slam Dunk. Can't remember who.
Didn't get a chance.
Didn't get a chance to see, but I heard really good things about them. And also Bob Villain are a band that I've heard a lot about. They were a Kerrang cover.
Nominated on the Heavy Music Awards as well,
Yeah.
I think, with that UK breakthrough.
Yeah, just another sort of up-and-coming British band that are going to be really fun to see. So
Got the return of Young Guns there as well.
yeah, they're a band that's always sort of passed me by. So again, it's just, keep saying it, but just the opportunity to see all these bands is going to be amazing.
And then finally we get to Saturday. I think a lot of bands, a lot of names on there that kind of still take you by surprise. Looking at someone like Knock Loose on there as part of the lineup, that kind of comes out of nowhere. Twin Atlantic, Nova Twins being, again, part of the more recent addition. You've seen kind of them grow. We saw them on tour with Bring Me, and they put on good performance with that. Who else are you guys looking
Well, we
forward
didn't
to?
really see them on tour with Bring Me because we missed their set.
We got there at the end.
Did we?
I thought we had the last couple of songs, didn't we? Or where did we see them before? Saw them somewhere.
Nah, I'm sure we didn't get there in time for any of their set.
No, I saw. We were talking about Nova Twins.
Yeah.
That for a second.
Yeah. That's why it
Where
took
did
me,
we see them?
took me a second to realise what you'd said. I was
Where
like,
did we see them
Nova
then?
Twins.
We saw them somewhere.
Nah.
I saw Nova Twins supporting Shikari. I don't know if the vlog I filmed was so immersive that you.
It was-
felt like
you
you-
know what, it
Did
was
they
like I was
perform
there.
Okay.
But I really want to see Nova Twins. I think they're going to be really fun. It is mandatory that we all see D's Nuts. I mean,
Yeah.
it has to be done.
Preston Miko?
Come on.
Yeah, that's mandatory as well. That goes without saying. Of course, we'll be seeing Preston Miko.
Another one that sticks out for me is Higher Power as well. Where did we see them? They were supporting someone.
They supported Beartooth.
Roundhouse.
At the
Yes.
Roundhouse.
They were fun then, so yeah, I'd be interested to see them again, definitely.
Also, then you kind of mentioned with singer Will of Creeper having his second band, Salem, doing one. You've got Laura Jane Grace doing two sets. One on the Friday, one on the Saturday. So it would be interesting to see kind of from that point of view.
One of those would probably be a Forest
acoustic set,
session.
yeah. So you're going to kind of get a nice chance to see a lot of variety. Maybe you could even see what could be interesting, a similar set list, but getting a totally different vibe from those songs. Something that's going to give you a very different interpretation of how kind of it comes across as a song and how the musicianship is on that, which can always be something very, very interesting to see.
Another one on here for me is the Chats. They seem like a really fun kind of party punk band, so I'm looking forward to seeing those. We talked when looking at the Reading and Leeds lineup before about the co-headline system, and we didn't like it for Reading and Leeds. But do we think it works better or in a similar way for 2000 Trees?
I think it works better in terms of you look at the scale of the festival, and I think you look at what Reading Leeds tries to do in terms of the variety and how it kind of draws people in from different genres. This, I feel, because of the kind of mix of bands and obviously this kind of side and scene of the music, it does work in a better way. Like you still look like on the Thursday, you've just got the single headliner, and the other 2 days, obviously, you've got the double. And I think knowing the amount of stages they seem like they're going to be a festival, obviously not knowing it, but a festival that are going to be more aware of the clashes. They're going to be more aware of people wanting to see certain bands. And I think we'll try and cater to an audience better than something that Reading and Leeds would do, where they just want to put people on times and kind of squash the bills more. So it feels like it would work much, much better for 2000 Trees, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, I think with this one, the two, I guess, subs, which are, I guess, a Turnstile and Unit 6 by the look of the poster, they feel a lot more to me like good appetizers and warm-ups for the actual headliners, whereas when I look at Reading and Leeds, it feels like they're just trying to chuck as much as they can on a poster to get you to buy the ticket. And I think, I mean, I've not been, but I feel like with Trees, it's each band's going to have their time respected, and I don't know, I feel like with Reading and Leeds, it's just like excess for the sake of it, whereas this feels like, hey, Turnstile are amazing and they're going to get your energy up and get you ready for Thrice. Unit 6 are going to get you singing along and ready for Idols. Like, those feel like really good pairings, and obviously Jimmy Eat World, big enough to just get hyped without anyone before them. I think it works in favour for Trees.
I think they've done really well here with kind of like Jimmy. I think they never really got around to announcing the Saturday headliner, so maybe it was Idols that were booked originally, maybe it was someone else, I don't know. But Jimmy Eat World and Thrice have been like the headliners that have been booked since 2020, since it got cancelled. So I think where this has worked really well is Turnstile are a really current headliner, and it's kind of
catching that wave.
Yeah, they're kind of not left it as feeling like dated by having Thrice still there. Although Thrice is still a big draw, it has something Thrice that were there originally booked, as well as having something new in Turnstile. And the same with maybe Yumi at 6 is just a great way to just, like I said, with adding Boston Manor, a lot of people are maybe on the fence, but adding Yumi at 6 as well kind of just will convince people.
I feel like the Yumi at 6 one sort of is the opposite of that, where Idols feel like the current big thing, and Yumi at 6 were almost like a throwback veteran name. Yeah, like you said, to bring people in that were undecided about going.
And like, it's nice from the people's point of view. Like, if you bought that ticket a few years ago and you were sold on those headliners, you're not getting like pushed out of that. They're not like, okay, because of all these circumstances, because of the virus that should not be named, and getting bands over and that kind of thing, that they're not getting kind of shafted out of what they originally wanted to buy a ticket for. They're just getting kind of new things added to that, and they were kind of like, you know what, we sold you it, you bought it on this, so we're going to honour that. And like, there'd be backlash, but you could understand from organisers from behind the scenes being like, you know what, let's change it up. You know what, let's try and cater to, like, with Turnstile being more current in that. And it's good to have that mix of, let's honour what we'd sold, and then let's bring it with something fresh as well. So you get that kind of two sides of the coin, which is very nice.
I mean, I think if the festival originally went ahead in 2020, you might have had Jimmy, Thrice and Idols as your three headliners.
Yeah.
And then this year you may well have had Turnstile, Yumi at 6 and someone else. So it's kind of like
you're getting the best of both worlds with that, aren't you?
You're getting loads of value for money with that.
I feel like it's almost hypocritical the way we've critiqued Reading and Leeds for the double headliner thing.
Well, no, because like you said, they've kind of made it work better at Trees. It seems more sincere.
Yeah.
Whereas Reading is kind of like, let's just get as many big names as possible. And then the rest of the lineup kind of suffers, I feel.
And also I feel like with the Reading situation, it sort of takes the wind out of the sails. Like, we can't celebrate Bring Me as a headliner as much because realistically they're still playing before Arctic Monkeys, and Arctic Monkeys are far bigger for that audience. So,
whereas I'd say Yumi at 6 and Idols are probably similar levels. Idols Idols maybe on more of an upward trajectory. The same with Turnstile and Thrice. Turnstile are on that upward trajectory. Big words.
Words.
What else I think is great is that there's punk, hardcore, metalcore, acoustic stuff.
What a mix.
Everything's catered for. I think it's going to be a really great, diverse, relaxed weekend. Except for when Knockle's playing. So just to wrap up, for the people listening at home, if they're going to 2000 Trees, should we all give one band that we think you have to go and see?
I'm going to go with Kenny Hoopla. I think that Survivor's Guilt EP was one of our favourite releases individually and like as a collective last year. It's something that we're definitely marking out to go and see at Slam Dunk and here. And I think that shows you how much we've enjoyed it. And I think we'd recommend that music to friends of ours that I know have listened to it since. They've all caught on to his music. So I think he's definitely a standout to go and see over this festival.
I keep going on about them, but it's got to be Pup for me. I think they pair up with this festival as well, really, really nicely. Similar kind of vibe, similar kind of values. They're just there for a good fun time.
For me, it's going to be Knock Loose. I think they're going to probably have one of the most energetic sets all weekend, and it's going to be amazing.
That's what I'm intrigued to see in like that kind of forest setting. Like that's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
It's not all in a forest. I hate to break it to you. They might do an acoustic set.
Imagine.
And so that's kind of our kind of breakdown of 2000 Trees. It's from the 6th to the 9th of July in Cheltenham at Upcott Farm. We'll be going. We're going to have a great time. Come say hello if you can spot us anywhere by any chance. And comment down below, like, which bands are you looking forward to seeing? Is there any that you've wanted to see for a while? Is there any new bands that you haven't had a chance to see? Be sure to look through the channel. We've got all kinds of festival previews coming up, and we'll be doing a lovely breakdown afterwards, along with a wonderful vlog.
If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see our download and outbreak vlogs now, and Slam Dunk. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure to follow and leave a 5-star review. Go on, do it.
If you've never been to 2000 Trees as well, maybe leave a comment with any questions you might have, and I'll try my best to answer them.